So today we're going to talk about parallelograms, but first off we need to look at something. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral. That is all a parallelogram is. It is a figure with four sides. Now the cool thing about a parallelogram is that all four sides have something in common. Specifically, two sides have things in common. So opposite sides have things in common. Let's look at this one. The quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the opposite sides are congruent. So PQ is congruent to RS. So we can write that. PQ is congruent to RS. That means SP is congruent to what? Well, QR. Now, if we go down a little bit, we can see that a quadrilateral is also a parallelogram. Then the diagonals must bisect each other. So if we look at it that way, QM is congruent to, well, MS. And RM is congruent to PM. So you guys see the little hash marks on there on the segments, this right here and right here. Now, let's see. Look, STUV is a parallelogram. Find the unknown lengths. Well, we know that TU right here is also going to be the same as the one across from it. So TU is the same as SV. And we can tell that SV is 12, so TU would be 12. Now looking at this one, WT is a diagonal. It's part of a diagonal. So WT is the same as VW, which is right there, WV. And that is equal to, well, 14 right there, so be 14. So now we have to set this up. We have to find the value of X and Y. Now, logically, you're going to look at this and say, well, there's an X right here, and there's an X up here. All right, those two are going to be the parallel sides, and therefore they're going to be equal. And then this side and this side, let's change those colors. This side right here, and then that side right there are parallel, so those two will be equal. So let's look at the Y's. So if we were to set this up, it would be 5Y is equal to 2Y plus 18. Looking at setting up the X's, the X's are going to set up as 3X minus 7 is equal to 2X plus 9. And then you just work things out and do some algebra and combine like terms, etc., etc. We're going to say 3Y is equal to 18. And this one, you're going to say X is equal to, what was that, 16? And go from there. All right. Now, a parallelogram is a quadrilateral is a parallelogram that's opposite angles are congruent. So if we look at this, angle P is right here, and we look directly across from it, R is the same. So that means P is congruent to R. And Q is congruent to S. Pretty simple idea. So ABC is a parallelogram. Find the value of X. Well, we know, as we did in the last one, if we have things that are congruent, how do we set those figures up? We set them up to be equal. So 9X plus 2 is equal to 12X minus 34. So you combine like terms. So I'm going to move the 9 over. So I'm going to say 2 is equal to 3X minus 34. And then move the 34. Oops. Messed up. Wasn't supposed to put 2X there. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be 2 is equal to 3X minus 34. You move the 34 over, so we get 36 is equal to 3X. And that means X is equal to 12. Next one. Next theorem. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then consecutive angles are supplementary. That means P and S both add up to 180. So P, measure angle P plus measure angle Q equals 180. Measure angle Q plus measure angle R equals 180. See, they're supplementary. This one right here and this one over here. And then RS, since they're on the same side, they're going to equal 180. SP, they're on the same side, so it equals 180. So finding this figure right here, find the measure of angle L. Angle right there. So what we can do is we can set up, we can say 180 is equal to 135 plus L. Subtract the 135, we get 45 is equal to L. That's it. Let's see if there's anything else on the next page. This is just work that you guys can do by yourselves. When you do these, though, make sure you set up and look for the variables that are the same. If the variables are the same, they are going to be working together. If they are not the same, then don't do them. Never set up 3y minus 7 is equal to 3x plus 18. It has an x and it has a y. You cannot do that. Your 3x and the plus 18 and 5x are the same. Your 3y minus 7 and 2y minus plus 4. That is how you do those. Setup variables are the same, and you're good. Everything else looks pretty simple. This is, oh yeah, fairly simple. 90 has to be 90 right there. And that's that. There you go. Parallel lines. Anything else that I saw in there you guys have troubles with? I think you guys are good for this. That's pretty much all I have to say.